Thank you, Reese. 92,000 plus at Bryant-Denny Stadium as number 16 Arkansas visits Tuscaloosa to face the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is college football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels, and here comes the Tide. Go wrong with red tonight. Arkansas at Alabama. And Arkansas will receive the kick. Darren McFadden is deep with Felix Jones. Jones, number 2 in the country, already averaging 48 yards a return. He was the All-American return man, number 1 in the country a year ago, as he averaged 31.9 for the season. McFadden backpedals 2 yards deep. He brings it out. Pulling his way across the 25. Very tough to bring down. Finally pushed back to the 22. Holly Rowe will work the sidelines. Let's check in with her right now. Holly.
Well, the challenge for Alabama is how do you stop Darren McFadden? We talked to their defensive coordinator, Kevin Steele. He said the first thing he does in the week is give his defense a list of musts for the game, things they must do. Defensive end Wallace Gilberry told us their must list for tonight is we must hit Darren McFadden. We must contain him. We definitely must hit him. We definitely must contain him. Guys, they don't want to be so worried about him that they lose sight of Felix Jones.
Casey Dick, the quarterback, gives to McFadden. Big hole off the right side. Pounds his way out to the 33. Here's legendary coach and Arkansas Athletic Director Frank Broyles to tell us about the Razorback offense.
The offense features 2 of the best running backs in America, Darren McFadden, who won the Doak Walker Award last year, and All-American Felix Jones. They are a big, big part of our success. And then the offensive line makes a big difference. And they have to be the blockers, and they're led by Remington Trophy finalist Jonathan Louis at center.
These other guys. Take a look at the Alabama starting defense.
The Alabama defense, led by defensive ends number 92, Wallace Gilberry, and number 93, Bobby Greenwood. At linebacker, freshman sensation Rolando McClain, and in the secondary, led by All-SEC number 2, Simeon Castillo.
The great Kenny Stabler, one of the best players this program ever produced, and as good a guy as you'll ever meet.
Just 2 doors down from us, doing the radio broadcast with Eli Gold.
And there's a timeout as Arkansas has to burn one early on the opening possession.
You know, when they broke the huddle a little bit ago, Darren McFadden was at quarterback, and then they had to go back in the huddle. I don't know if they were trying to fool him or not, but he's back in the quarterback position again. Casey Dick is out wide as a wide receiver.
Jones in motion.
There's the power.
McFadden will keep it, takes it up to the 39-yard line. He'll have the first down. The freshman middle linebacker, Rolando McClain, made the stop.
That's the first time we've seen what they call now the Wild Hog formation. They called it Wildcat last year and appropriately changed it to Wild Hog this year. But that's McFadden in the quarterback position. Felix Jones in a slot, comes in motion. Now McFadden out and Jones the single tailback.
Casey Dick under center on 1st and 10. Jones, the speedster, drilled in the backfield, and it's the safety Marcus Carter who shot a gap and nailed him about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Great job by Marcus Carter, playing on the edge of the defense, shoots in there, keeps his outside arm free, beats the block of the guard, Mitch Petrus, and made the play behind the line of the scrimmage. The Alabama defense, Nick Saban, Kevin Steele both told us it is absolutely critical that we are able to set the edge of our defense because they want to get to the perimeter, and that's where their big plays occur.
Dick goes to the shotgun. Rolls away from pressure and throws wide. Intended for Reggie Fish, but it wasn't even close. Nick Saban, when last we saw him, was coaching in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins. Before that, had a national championship at LSU, and he realizes now that college football his first love, and he's back at one of the few jobs he would have left Miami for.
And he is an outstanding defensive coach. I mean, he's a very complex defensive system that he runs, and this is where you play right into his hands. Third down and long with an offense that doesn't really have a great third down package.
Robert Johnson, the former quarterback, number 18, is in as a third wide receiver. Dick throws, nobody home. Johnson hooked up, and Casey Dick threw an out pattern.
See, that's not where Arkansas is going to beat you. Third and long. They've got to stay ahead of the chains with Darren McFadden and Felix Jones and Peyton Hillis. They're three backs on the field together where it's a run-pass threat on every down. When it's pure pass for them, they are at a real disadvantage.
It has never been simple to stop Arkansas to run. If it was, they'd never win because they hardly ever throw the ball well, but it's just so hard to stop these guys. Davis gets the kick away. Javier Arenas hitting his tracks and dumped it to 22-yard line. 42-yard punt and no return. Here's Kenny Stabler to tell us about the Bama offense.
The Alabama offense, led by quarterback number 14, John Parker Wilson. In the running game, look for number 29, freshman hot rod Terry Grant, making plays on the outside. Number 22, DJ Hall, clearing the way for the skill players. Number 71 at left tackle, Andre Smith, and all SEC center, Antoine Caldwell.
Kenny Stabler, Bart Starr, and Joe Namath. Not bad.
No, not bad.
Alabama on first down. John Parker Wilson wants to throw. Floats it up. Got a man down to the 35-yard line. DJ Hall. He beat Jarrell Norton, and even though the pass was underthrown, it goes for 43 yards.
Well, DJ Hall, the top receiver in this program, does a great job of not showing the defender where the ball is. He has his eyes on it, but he doesn't go for it till late because it's an underthrown pass. They go deep against man-to-man on the first play. Hall runs by the corner. Norton and hauls it in for a big catch. They're going to have opportunities to throw against one-on-one coverage a lot tonight because that's Arkansas's MO.
And Hall just broke Ozzie Newsome's career record for yards. Tremendous pass and a great catch by Hall. Here's Frank Boyles to tell us about the Arkansas defense.
The Razorbacks have some new faces on the defensive line this season. Malcolm Shepard is one of the rising stars at defensive tackle. And the linebackers, which are key to any defense, are led by Arkansas native Weston Dakis. He is our top returning tackler from a year ago. And the secondary, you better be able to stop the pass. And we're led by free safety and former NCAA track champion Michael Grant.
John Parker Wilson again. Hall can't get there. Double coverage. Got to him and tipped it away. Frederick Johnson came over number 17 and got a piece of the ball.
37-32. You can see last year the combination of DJ Hall and Keith Brown, who was suspended the first game and has not caught a pass yet this season, but will be playing tonight. That was a very dynamic combination wide receiver, the best that's ever been at Alabama. DJ Hall has been a consistent performer throughout his career here for the Crimson Tide.
Set a school record with over 1,000 yards a year ago. John Parker Wilson hit and decked. Matt Hewitt, the safety, came and got him. And John Parker Wilson didn't have a chance.
Well, John Parker Wilson's got to know whether he's outflanked, and they brought one more than Alabama could block. And it's interesting because Major Applewhite told us yesterday, very seldom do they outnumber you. They normally bring just as many as you have blockers, but that time they brought one more than Alabama had blockers, and Hewitt was left free to get to the quarterback.
Fitzgerald to kick to Peyton Hillis. Outstanding group of backs on this Arkansas team, and they're all great kick returners. This one, however, will be downed inside the 5 as Arkansas blanketed by that Alabama coverage. Let's go to Reese Davis. Reese?
All right, Mike, game going on ESPN.
They are really swarming.
I'll tell you what, the real testament of Nick Saban and his ability to coach defense, I think, is when you look at this Alabama defense. They don't have a lot of all-SEC caliber guys. They've got a true freshman starting at middle linebacker. Simeon Castile is a big-time player at the one corner, but they are well coached. You can see that they know where they're supposed to be. They understand the defense. And again, they make it really difficult for a quarterback because of their complexity.
McFadden, nice hole off the right side, but it closed quickly. And there's Rolando McClain again. And how rare is it to come into a program as a freshman and start at middle linebacker, and he makes all the calls as well.
Well, he's a big guy. I mean, he's 6'4", 255 pounds. That's why you see a guy like McFadden stop when he hits him. When McClain hits you, he brings a little thud with him, and that running back's not going to go any further.
And not many people do that to McFadden.
That's right.
3rd and 7. McFadden waiting for the ball as he stands on the goal line, 7 yards behind Casey Dick. Dick instead wants to throw. Throws short, tipped and intercepted. That's the problem you have when Arkansas starts throwing the ball, and Wallace Gilberry, preseason second-team ACC, tipped it. Darren Mustin picked it off.
Well, it's a zone blitz, and Wallace Gilberry is a defensive end, but he's going to drop off. He's going to drop, and the blitz is going to come from here, and Gilberry's going to be the guy that gets his hands on the football. Watch him show rush, drop, read the quarterback, get his hands on the football, and then Mustin is there to get the interception. Excellent play that time by the defensive end, Gilberry.
The Alabama defense has done its job. Grant. He's swallowed up by Arkansas. Just barely got back to the line of scrimmage at that.
The key for Alabama tonight is going to be winning one-on-one battles, and that's primarily with the wide receivers, because they're going to see a steady dose of man coverage, and they've got to get separation, and they've got to win those battles. And then it comes down to John Parker Wilson being accurate and fitting the ball into tight spaces, because when you throw against man, you need to be accurate.
Wilson almost intercepted, but caught for a touchdown by Hall. He stole that football. Matero Richardson was in great position. There is a flag down on the play.
Well, this is a design throw where you throw it to the back shoulder of the receiver. It's almost impossible to defend if the quarterback and receiver are on the same page.
The penalty is against Arkansas. The touchdown will stand.
I told you there's tight spaces. That was a tight space. You throw that thing to the back shoulder of your receiver, he stops and comes back for it, and the defender has no chance if the quarterback and receiver are on the same page.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. 31 on the defense. The result of the play is a touchdown. Still being enforced on the kickoff.
That was Matt Hewitt, the safety, who had the earlier sack. And we've got a new kicker because Tiffin is out. Andrew Friedman. Tiffin went to the locker room. We do not know why yet. And Friedman comes on for the point after and knocks it through. Another flag is down. Remember, that personal foul will be enforced on the kickoff, and they're going to have to redo the extra point. There's Lee Tiffin.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage on the kicking team. Penalty is 5 yards. Retry.
Well, and that's just the kind of stuff that coaches say is unacceptable. Let's go to Holly.
Well, guys, Lee Tiffin, their kicker, just came back out from the locker room. He's got an injured upper right arm. They've put an extra pad on there. Saban tried to get him out to kick this extra point, but they ran out of time. But, hey, no problem. They got it through with their backup guy.
Injured right arm.
And they take the kicker out for that. Wow. Okay.
Put a little dirt on it, my man. Let's go.
Warranty.
And that ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And in part by Chrysler. The way our vehicles come together is what sets us apart. Chrysler, engineered beautifully.
Alabama takes advantage of the turnover and jumps on top 7-0. Now the Tide will kick off again to McFadden and Jones. Lee Tiffin back on the field to kick. You see Tiffin with the pad on his right arm. Back to that touchdown, Todd. That was a beautiful play.
Yeah, I want to show you what happens on this route. I mean, here's the matchup right here. DJ Hall against Richardson. Now watch, against press man-to-man, you're thinking fade route. That's what the corner and the safety are thinking. And so he's in position. But right here, what he's expecting, the corner, he's expecting that ball to go all the way to the back pylon. But the ball doesn't go there. The ball's going to go to the front shoulder, and that enables DJ Hall to stop and come back for the football. The corner and the safety are thinking it's going to the back pylon. It goes to the front pylon. Very difficult to stop.
Casey Dick throws over the middle. This one is complete to Crawford.
Well, everybody knows about the running game in this ball game. Arkansas with McFadden and Jones. Terry Grant leading the SEC in rushing. But I think the X factor today are the two quarterbacks. Casey Dick has got to hit some plays on play action. Just hit one there on first down. And John Parker Wilson's got to make those tough throws against tight man-to-man coverage. He threw a beauty there for the touchdown. But these two quarterbacks and their ability to make plays and make their offenses two-dimensional, very important for this game.
The X factor brought to you by Dell. Wilson now 2 out of 4, 10 yards. McFadden. And Alabama, when they have had a hole there, has been able to close it up. Good block by Mitch Petrus, the starting left guard. He and Louigs are pretty tough in the middle.
Yeah, this is a counter play. You've got Petrus pulling, and you've got Peyton Hillis, the fullback, kind of leading the play. That's one of their staple plays, and one that McFadden loves to run. He loves running in between the tackles, and he loves to invite those one-on-one tackling opportunities because he normally gets the best of them.
11th in the country coming into this ball game, 151 yards a game. McFadden again, this time Castile up from the corner to team with Rolando McClain. Houston Nutt certainly had a turbulent offseason as the head coach of the Razorbacks in his 10th season. Gus Malzahn is offensive coordinator after only 1 year. Upset with his role, left for Tulsa. His high school stars who came with him transferred to USC. And after they left, and while they left, it really got ugly. Some fans were upset with them, others with Houston Nutt. They got the coaches' phone records under the Freedom of Information Act, and then things really got personal from there. Really didn't seem like a good coaching fit philosophically from the beginning, and people really had to put up with some stuff that went over the line on both sides. Todd Jones, the tailback, and the slant pass dropped by Reggie Fish. What a good throw by Casey Dick.
It sure was, and that's what David Lee, the offensive coordinator for Arkansas, told us about these two receivers, Crawford and Fish. They've got athleticism, and Fish has the best ability to separate, but they're inconsistent in catching the football, and that's one, not only if he catches it a first down, he may still be running because he's going to split that defense full speed and maybe take it to the end zone, but you got to catch the ball first no matter what.
They are missing Marcus Monk, the tremendous 6'6" receiver who's going to be out at least another 2 or 3 weeks with a knee injury. Davis will punt to Arenas. Chance to return this one, Arenas from the 27, but dragged down by the ankles. We get back to last year's meeting for tonight's Good Hand Flashback presented by Allstate. Alabama, Arkansas. 37-yard field goal attempt first overtime, Lee Tiffin misses from 37 yards. In the second overtime, Tiffin misses a point after. And then Mitch Mustaine, one of the kids who transferred to Ben Cleveland for a touchdown. Cleveland stayed. Jeremy Davis made the point after, and Arkansas won it 24-23. And Lee Tiffin, I think, has been itching ever since for some payback and redemption. And he's in the locker room for the first point after. That wasn't the way he wanted to start. John Parker Wilson on the roll. Catch is good at the 37-yard line. Matt Caddell with his first catch of the season.
Any quarterback, young, old, new, experienced, loves to get off to a good start. You want to hit some passes early. He's thrown out of the pocket. This is time he rolls out to his left, gets his shoulders square, and delivers a nice soft pass to the sideline. Ironically, last year, his first road start was against Arkansas in that win, and he had a great game. 16 of 20, 243 yards, and a career-high 3 touchdowns in that ball game in Fayetteville last year.
Really worked hard on his footwork and his timing. Just like that goes to McCoy, and McCoy up to the 46-yard line. Here's Reese.
All right, Mike, Taco Bell studio update now. We check in on a Texas-UCF game after a Kyle Israel fumble for Central Florida. Jamal Charles is loose. He's rushed for over 130 yards on the day. The flag was against UCF. Touchdown stands 35-24. Florida scored the last 31 points of the game to beat Tennessee, and Mississippi State upset Auburn and Jordan-Hare.
59 points.
Yikes.
God.
And you want to hear a cheer? 92,000 people here in the pregame informed that Auburn had lost to Mississippi State. This place went nuts.
I like what I see out of Alabama right now because Major Applewhite, the offensive coordinator, they are attacking this Arkansas defense. They know what they're going to get. They know they're going to get man-to-man. They know they're going to get press coverage. And this is a way of saying, you know what, we are going to be aggressive with it. We are going to attack them down the field and take our shots and see if we can make some plays.
There's Major Applewhite, 3rd and 1. Grant, first down and more, off to the races. Grant to the 15-yard line. Michael Grant had to make the tackle. It's a gain of 39.
Well, this looks like the Arkansas defense was thinking inside run all the way. They had nobody on the perimeter. Watch this part of the defense just get closed down by the Alabama offensive line and tight ends. Wide receiver came in there, got a nice block on the outside. It was Nikita Stover, number 9, with a huge block on the crackback and sealed that corner for Terry Grant.
Jarrell Norton basically took himself out of the play from the corner, took a terrible angle and came inside. Grant again, this time inside the 15. And Todd, didn't you love Major Applewhite as a player? I just enjoyed watching him every time he played.
It's funny because, you know, Nick Saban talked to us about how much he admired and loved great competitors, you know, and he thinks great competitors were special people, and that's what Major Applewhite was. He was not an overly talented guy, didn't have the big arm, didn't have the huge stature as a quarterback, but a great competitor and a very, very smart quarterback, smart decision maker.
Sure was. Glenn Coffey, and he has come up through the coaching ranks like a rocket. Coffey will get a carry. Straight up the middle, 5, goal line, touchdown. Glenn Coffey from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Well, people said it would take a while for Nick Saban to establish his program here. About 3 weeks. Is that long enough for you? Tiffin for the point after. Alabama with a first quarter lead, 14-0.
25 greatest players ever. Number 25, Ernie Nevers. Ernie Nevers was an All-American at Stanford University and played in the 1925 Rose Bowl. Stanford coach Pop Warner called Nevers the football player without a fault. IBM, getting it done.
So Ernie Nevers is number 25. Number 24 through number 3 will be announced every Saturday through the end of the regular season. Number 2 at the Capital One Bowl on ABC. And number 1 at the Rose Bowl presented by Citi on ABC. McFadden and Jones are deep for Tiffin's kickoff. Been a really good kickoff, guys. But Alabama has jumped all over Arkansas for a 15-0 lead.
When you're an offense like Arkansas, you need to stay ahead of the game, ahead of the chains, ahead on the scoreboard, and turnovers are your worst enemy. And that's why they're down 14-0 now.
Jones runs up on a shorter kick from the 16. Caught from behind, dragged down as he crossed the 30. Back to that touchdown play.
Well, we have the opportunity to watch a couple excellent centers in this game. Now watch Antoine Caldwell. He's the center right here. Watch number 59 on this inside zone play. Just get out on the middle linebacker, Weston Dacus, and drive him back to about the 5-yard line. Just stays locked up on him the whole time, and Glenn Coffey able to get in there for the touchdown. But he is a very athletic center. Antoine Caldwell in Arkansas with Jonathan Luigs, also an All-American type candidate at the center position. Both guys very, very athletic.
Alabama dominating statistically. Allowed only 30 yards before this series began. McFadden reading and gives to the fullback Peyton Hillis, and Hillis got maybe a yard. Glad you could join us on a perfect Saturday night from Tuscaloosa. We're at Bryant-Denny Stadium, 92,000. Early season SEC showdown. And so far, Alabama showing its mettle against number 16 Arkansas.
And I just saw a little bit, I don't know if this is frustration from Darren McFadden or just wanted to get his gloves away from him, but he just tossed his gloves to the sideline.
McFadden trying to get to the outside, looking for a block, lowers his shoulder, went right through one tackle, and has a first down up at the 45.
You know, it's just so rare that you see this kind of a combination of speed and strength. I mean, first of all, the speed to get to the corner of the defense and turn those shoulders upfield. And then when he lowers that shoulder, I mean, he just runs through linebackers and defensive backs. That's a free safety. Marcus Carter, number 20, who came up, he just ran completely through him for 5 or 6 more yards.
If you're going to try to hit McFadden that high, you're going to pay the price, because he's stronger than all those guys in the backfield. McFadden again dragging tacklers with him to the 49. Darren Mustin brought him down. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, Darren McFadden is wearing those gloves that running backs wear that have that kind of tacky surface that helps them hang on to the ball. But it was causing him some problems as he tried to hand off the ball and get rid of it. So that's why you saw him throwing those to the sideline. Then he wiped his hands on his pants, just trying to get a better grip for when he's in there at quarterback. He's got dual purposes, dual hand issues.
That's right. Good point. Good catch.
17 plays so far. McFadden has run the ball 9 times and caught 1 pass. Casey Dick back to throw. McFadden tried to get out of the ground to get it and couldn't.
Look at Nick Saban. He is right on top of his free safety, Rashad Johnson, saying, no way does number 5 go running free in our defense. Wherever he goes, we need to make sure we have him.
You don't want to make a mistake right in front of the coach.
Oh, on their sideline, and he's the guy that coaches. You know, not only is he the defensive head coach, he's kind of the defensive coordinator, and his specialty is secondary. Yeah. So if you were playing the secondary for Nick, be ready to get an earful.
Wrong place, wrong time. Fake the draw. Casey Dick down the middle, tipped it incomplete, threw into double coverage. Intended for Crosby Tuck, who caught a 42-yard touchdown pass a week ago from McFadden.
Well, it's 3rd down. They go I formation, play action, fake, and you're right. I mean, Alabama's got 2 defensive backs for all the eligible receivers and nowhere to go with the football for Casey Dick. He might have been able to dump it underneath for Hillis, but it would have been well short of the first down.
When you only throw when you have to, you've got to be almost perfect.
Yeah. That's why you got to throw on first down if you're Arkansas.
Davis, this is Arenas. Let it go into the end zone. They'll start from the 20 after a 51-yard punt. Monday Night Football on ESPN will continue with an NFC East matchup. The Redskins head to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. Monday Night Football, 8:30 on ESPN Eastern. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown. And I'll tell you one thing about the Redskins. They may come up with the best defense in all of the National Football League this year. They have improved so much under Greg Williams this season. And LaRon Landry out of LSU was their top draft choice. And boy, is he going to be some pro. They go on the toss with Grant, and Grant showing his speed up to the 35-yard line, led by Andre Smith, who was a freshman All-American a year ago from his left tackle spot.
Well, here's the adjustment that Reggie Herring has made for Arkansas. Because he's getting beat a little bit on the passing game, he's putting 2 safeties back with man underneath. That makes him weaker against the run because it takes a safety out of the box. And again, they get outflanked on the run because the safety was already back in a cover 2. He's got to make some adjustments because John Parker Wilson's off to a good start.
Grant, 5 carries, 57 yards. Nice play action fake by John Parker Wilson, buying himself some time and throws it away. He looks so comfortable right now, Todd. He's making decisions on the run, and he's making all the right decisions.
Yeah. Now, Major told me that he had a really good week of practice. He told me that before the game down on the field. He said, you know, if that's any indicator, he had a good week of practice. And see, part of the thing is, against this defense, the quarterback really doesn't have to read a lot of coverages because it's primarily man-to-man. So you call the play, you kind of know where your matchups are, and every now and then they'll throw a different wrinkle of a zone or a blitz in there that you have to pick up. But for the most part, you know what you get, a free safety and man coverage.
Set 7 school records a year ago. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Then he makes the perfect throw to DJ Hall. Hall looking for more. That's 3 big catches he's made tonight. That one was 32 yards. What a night already for Hall, who has broken Ozzie Newsome's all-time career record for receiving. 3 catches, 84 yards tonight.
Well, the blitz is coming here, but he knows outside he's got one-on-one with his best receiver against the safety, Hewitt. Now, Hewitt got knocked off by one of his own defenders on the crossing route, but that's a matchup that you've got to like if you're Alabama. Our best receiver against a safety who was actually a linebacker last season.
John Parker Wilson again looking for Hall. Touchdown! What a perfect throw. He beat Jarrell Norton, and John Parker Wilson laid it right on the money. Hall, 4 catches, 118 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's not a bad quarter.
Not bad. He just blew right past Ozzie Newsome tonight, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He might set every record in the book tonight. Still have a minute 27 to go first quarter. Alabama is thumping Arkansas. Fumble. Alabama has it. Recovered by Darwin Salam as the ball bounced right to him. He's also the guy, I believe, who tore the ball out.
Well, one of the things with McFadden trying to get extra yards, and when they feel they have him tied up, they rip that football out. 39.
Well, it's supposed to be Darwin Salam, but Tyrone King has his name on the jersey. So it's King's name and Salam's number. Let's go to Reese for a SportsCenter 30 at 30. Reese?
All right, Mike, Tiger Tiger Woods is putting on a show at the Tour Championship. Shot a 63 yesterday, a 64 today, 19 under par. He leads the Tour Championship by 3 over Mark Calcavecchia. Baseball now, Cubs and Cardinals. Alfonso Soriano goes yard. Cubs win at 3-2. They lead the Central by 2 games. Those two teams will play again tonight. Sports Center coming up late tonight. ESPN News, you can stay current there.
John Parker Wilson over the middle, complete to the 20-yard line. A flag is down. It was his tight end, Travis McCall. You know, if that Tiger Woods kid applies himself, he's going to be pretty good one of these days.
Will be. I think they got Andre Smith, the freshman All-American last year, the left tackle, for a hold, working on Antoine Robinson.
Holly Rowe, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, Houston Nutt told us he thought the key to this ball game would just be how his team handled the first 5 or 6 minutes, and these 92,000 people haven't handled it very well. I just listened in to the defensive huddle as they were sitting here on the sideline. Guys, not a lot of talking. They were staring straight ahead. Guys are shaking their head. It seems like they're shell-shocked right now. And then all of a sudden a turnover. They just shook their heads and had to take the field.
Well, Holly, they play man-to-man defense in the secondary. That's their calling card. That's what they do. And right now, Alabama has an answer for it.
And I don't know that it's the crowd that shell-shocked him as much as it is John Parker Wilson and DJ Hall. I think that's what's really shell-shocked him.
John Parker Wilson from the shotgun. Blitz coming. And he decided to eat it back at the 45-yard line.
I'm going to go back and show you the touchdown that Wilson threw. Now, when there is play action back here, these safeties come cheating up. They're back there to help the corner. Jarrell Norton is the guy that gets his name called for getting beat, but the free safety, Michael Grant, bit on the fake so badly that he wasn't anywhere around to help that corner on the play. He's back there in order to make help on that play. That was too easy for Alabama.
They are on their feet at Bryant-Denny Stadium celebrating Alabama's 21-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. Welcome back to Tuscaloosa. It is the 75th anniversary season for Southeastern Conference football. And they've been great just about since the first day they started. DJ Hall, it's a school record for one quarter. He's added to his school record for 100-yard games. He's already had his 11th. This pass intended for him, and it's knocked away by Jarrell Norton. He set the school record a year ago for 1,056 yards in the season, and he's probably the least publicized wide receiver in the entire conference.
Yeah, he's done it kind of quietly, but I'll tell you one thing. He likes playing against Arkansas. You saw his numbers tonight. Last year in the win in Fayetteville, 6 catches, 144 yards and a touchdown. And the year before that, 3 catches and 2 of them were for touchdowns. So he's had some big ball games against the Razorbacks.
Peyton Hillis is deep for Fitzgerald's punt. Arkansas finally did something on defense, put a lot of pressure on Fitzgerald, nearly got there. Hillis fair catch the 15-yard line, 40-yard punt, and no return. Here's our game track. If you join us late, John Parker Wilson has been crisp the way you have to be against that man-to-man coverage, and he's hit 6 out of 9 for 138 yards. McFadden 9 carries for only 39. He coughed it up once on a fumble. And Arkansas in a position they don't like to be in. That's down anytime by 3 touchdowns.
But they can't abandon what they do. They got to keep giving the ball to 5 and 25 and hope that their defense can come up with some plays.
McFadden to take the direct snap, fakes the handoff to Jones, keeps it himself. Great cut to get across the 20 up to the 23. But you can tell how well Alabama is prepared for this offensive package.
I mean, you know, they know that they can't give up the edge. They know that most of Arkansas's big plays come on the perimeter, whether it's Jones or McFadden. And they've got to do that. They've got to make sure that they stay disciplined with where they're supposed to fit on the defense.
Against Troy, they ran out of this formation 7 times for nearly 9 yards a shot. They only have 9 yards total tonight. Jones trying to get outside, clobbered by Darren Must on the outside, weak linebacker. who came into this game as the #1 tackler on this ball club with 13 stops.
It's a real great story. He started his career at Middle Tennessee State, and then he decided he wanted to play at Alabama. And he left Middle Tennessee, and he walked on here, paid his own way, sat out a year, and now he's a starting linebacker for the Crimson Tide as a senior.
3rd and 4, and Arkansas has really not been able to get anything going against this Alabama defense. McFadden, quarterback keeper as he takes the direct snap, nothing doing.
Well, this is so well defended by Arkansas. The defensive linemen started by rushing up the field, but the linebackers stayed right in there and read draw. They knew it was probably going to be a run and not a pass by McFadden. Watch those linebackers stay right in there, key right on the play, and Mustin made the play on 2nd down, made the play again on 3rd down.
I don't know that that little 2-step drop is going to fool anybody. Davis to kick to Javier Arenas.
Second punt that Alabama has been close to tonight.
Arenas bobbles.
Still on the ground.
Well, Arenas tried to get Arkansas back in it. They lost 3 on the kick return after a 53-yard punt. Tuesday morning. They stay on the ground. And not much. One of the players who will be up and at 'em early Eastern time will be Kat Whitehall, who has been kind enough to join us from China, where she is either 12 hours ahead or 12 hours behind. I can never remember, but it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for being up early and being with us, Kat.
Hey, no problem. I'm watching the football right now, so I'm happy.
Now, how did you become, you went to North Carolina to play soccer. Why are you so interested in Alabama?
Well, honestly, I mean, I'm from Alabama, so that helps. And, I mean, I just love football, especially SEC football. My mom went to Florida, my dad went to Georgia, my sister went to Auburn. So to say I'm an Alabama fan is kind of hard, but I just cheer for them when they're not playing those 3 other teams.
Now, Kat, you're playing Nigeria tomorrow. This is a team that is known for being very physical, but you're a very physical player as well. Is that the kind of team you like to face?
Yeah, I mean, Nigeria is tremendously better since the last time we played them in the 2003 World Cup, and they're going to be tough. I mean, they're definitely physical, but, you know, hopefully we'll come back with some kind of formation to play against their speed and their quickness and their physicality, and hopefully maybe a physical player will help that as well.
That last pass, by the way, was completed to Matt Caddell as they take it up to the 41-yard line.
Kat, this is Todd Blackledge. I don't know a whole lot about soccer. I know a lot more about football, or American football, and I know there's a lot of strategy involved with football, and you have game plans, and you change that strategy from week to week based on the opponent you play. Is that the same kind of thing you do in soccer?
It's very similar. We play a certain formation per game, and you know we've been changing. We've already had 2 different formations since we've been playing in the World Cup. But we definitely kind of base on what we do best, and we kind of go what our team is better at rather than what the other team is better at. Especially, you know, we've gone, I think, 44 straight games without a loss, and so we have to be confident in ourselves and kind of go with what we know and scout the other team, but know what we do best.
Well, Kat, thanks for joining us. We'll check back with you in the second half, and hopefully for your sake, it's still good news for Alabama.
I hope so. Thanks for having me on.
All right, well, you bet. We'll talk to you later.
All righty.
Wonder what she'll have in China for breakfast right now. A little after 8 a.m. You have any idea? I've never been there.
Well, in Japan,
breakfast there?
I know in Japan, you could have cereal, toast, and bacon, glass of orange juice. That was about $47.
Probably not grits and biscuits, though, like we can have here.
No, right? No gravy for you, Blackledge. But it was $47 for breakfast.
Wow, what a catch.
And what a throw, too. DJ Hall He needs to get his own PR agency. I tell you what, this kid is a tremendous wide receiver, but with so many other guys in the Southeastern Conference and the fact that they've not been that successful throwing the ball, he hasn't gotten that much notice.
Well, he and John Parker Wilson are really in sync right now, and they have the Arkansas defense very confused. I mean, they've got them back on their heels. They're not. Look at the Arkansas defense right now. No more press coverage. They've backed off the receivers. They can't afford to get burnt the way they've gotten burnt. A different type of defense now for Arkansas.
The numbers for Hall, magnificent. John Parker Wilson, flag is down, so is the quarterback at the 45-yard line. And it looks like Andre Smith will be flagged for a hold.
I think that's the second one they've got on Andre. And Antoine Robinson is a much smaller player than Andre Davis at 6'2", 255. But he understands leverage. He understands how to use his hands. And he uses his quickness to get around the left tackle right there. Andre Smith started all 13 games last year as a true freshman out of Birmingham, Alabama. Made some freshman All-American teams. But he's got his hands full right now with Antoine Robinson.
He had 65 knockdowns last year, which means you really don't want to go, face mask to face mask with the guy. You take the Antoine Robinson route and go around him. You're right. Wilson throws this one too high. Cadell was the intended receiver, and he was covered well by Jamar Love. Even though that was incomplete, John Parker Wilson really looks like he's throwing the ball beautifully in rhythm.
Yeah, he looks comfortable. He looks confident. Now, what he may have to adjust to is if Arkansas continues to make changes in their style of play, and if they're going to back off and give cushion to the receivers instead of getting right up into their face, then that will change and have to affect the way that John Parker Wilson throws the football. Here they are again now, pressed, but they have 3 deep safeties lined up in the back.
Coffee following his big left tackle, gets a few, but it'll be shy of the first down. They'll have to take a look at a 3rd and long. About 5. Check at 15.
3rd and 13. What you don't want to do right now if you're John Parker Wilson on a down like this, 3rd and 13, don't make a bad decision. Your team is in control. You've been on a roll. You've made good decisions with the football. If you don't have it, dump it off. If you have to punt, that's okay. You're in control of the game. Don't do something to incite the other team.
Wilson in the shotgun wants the screen. It's covered. And John Parker Wilson with great instincts. The second he saw it was covered, knew what he had to do, and he took off, then lowered his shoulder and got as much as he could.
Yeah, get as much as you can. Don't force a bad throw. If you punt the football, that's okay. Your defense is playing outstanding football right now. Hopefully your punter can pin him down in here deep again and let your defense play.
Clock is running as we hit the 8.5-minute mark before the half, and after a burst things have settled down a little bit, but as the result of the burst, Alabama's on top by 21 points. I have to figure Peyton Hill is not going to get his hands on this one. High floating kick. Does make the fair catch at the 17-yard line. Todd's Taste of the Town. When we come back, Todd goes truly off the beaten path to find some local flavor.
Change notified.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Hyundai. Now there are more reasons to check out a new Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com. And Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood.
It's an early SEC showdown in Tuscaloosa with Arkansas against Alabama. Alabama a slight favorite, even though Arkansas is the team that's in the top 20 and not the Tide. Arkansas takes over at its own 11-yard line. Dick to throw. McFadden, a little swing pass out in the flat. And that's only the 3rd completion tonight for Casey Dick.
But that's what they've got to do, I think. They've got to throw the football on first down. I mean, Arkansas really needs to get a touchdown in here before halftime. They can't afford to go into the locker room down 21-0. And I think the only way for them to stretch this Alabama defense and put them on their heels a little bit is to hit some play action passes, and it's going to happen easiest for them on first down or a down like this, second and short. Still use McFadden, still use Jones and Hillis, but don't be afraid to throw the ball some on first down.
3 completions, only 14 yards. McFadden covers it up, takes it out to the 30-yard line. Here's Reese.
All right, Mike, Louisville and Kentucky, the Cardinals have won the last 4, but the Cardinals turned it over twice in the early going, and Andre Woodson made them pay here. Find Steve Johnson. Kentucky's added another field goal. It's on ESPN Classic, 13-0. Not a great day for the Pac-10. Look at what Utah, the 114th ranked scoring offense in America before they saw that supposedly vaunted Bruin defense, 44-6 in the fourth quarter, and the Buckeyes beat Washington.
Wow. So there's some surprises there. But the Kentucky one is not a surprise. I would not be surprised at all to see Kentucky beat Louisville. And I don't know that there's a quarterback in America that has gotten better over the last couple years than Andre Woodson. There it is, another first down pass.
Good throw that time to Hillis, and Hillis out of the backfield to make the catch up to midfield, tackled by Simeon Castile after a gain of 22.
See, with the way that Arkansas runs, you've got to respect McFadden. That means the linebackers have to respect him, and you're able to slip guys behind those linebackers but in front of the safeties. And Peyton Hillis is a fullback who can line up as a wide receiver and run routes. And they say he has the best hands of anybody on the Arkansas team, so very versatile.
He was the leading receiver against Troy. He had 6 catches. And the wideouts and the tight ends are virtually ignored in this offense.
Yeah. Well, partly because Marcus Monk is hurt, because he had 50 catches a year ago, his best season ever, almost 1,000 yards, and he's been completely unavailable for this offense so far this season. And they just haven't had anybody else that has really stepped up. Also, Ben Cleveland is probably their best receiving tight end. He's been out since early in camp with a nerve injury in his neck. So they're down to some guys that haven't played a lot of football for him.
Out of the eye this time with McFadden, the deep man, behind Hillis. Hillis gave him a good block, and McFadden will come up maybe a yard shy of a first down. Lorenzo Washington with the tackle. Let's go to Holly.
Well, guys, Marcus Monk was fighting a knee injury he suffered in camp on August 9th. He had it scoped August 13th, and it had really started to heal. But he had to get a second scope on August 28th for some loose cartilage. They said he's doubtful for the Kentucky game, but they have North Texas and Chattanooga after that. So they're hoping they can get him back possibly for Auburn, who's at home watching this game. And Ben Cleveland, a little bit more questionable. A neck stinger, they've taken him to some specialists. They still don't have an answer to get that neck stinger fixed.
And those are 2 really valuable guys for this Arkansas offense.
3rd and a yard. Play action fake. Wide open. Touchdown, Arkansas. Crosby Tuck for 40 yards, and boy, did they buy the fake.
Well, Crosby Tuck caught a 42-yarder from Darren McFadden in the win over Troy. This time, 3rd and 1. Everybody on the Alabama sideline, including Nick Saban, expecting run. And a beautiful call by David Lee to go play action. And Casey Dick had to wait a little bit for Crosby Tuck to get open, but then threw a beautiful pass to him.
There might have been a tip on that, the fact that McFadden wasn't the tailback and it was Jones. But nice throw by Casey Dick. Tejada for the point after. And he converts, and that's a huge score for Arkansas. As you said, they needed something before the half to get back in this game, and that will do it.
Installation.
The Gold State.
Casey Dick on the last drive, perfect, 70 yards and a touchdown. And Tuck ran a beautiful pattern, hesitated just long enough to sell it.
And they hit 2 passes on first down that were critical.
Yes,
that loosened up the defense, and then they got the big play on 3rd and 1.
Low. Flag is down. Can't get low down, though. The officials talk it over. Time now for Todd's Taste of the Town.
Doing a game in Alabama provides me a lot of options of where to eat. Now, when I think of Alabama, I think of barbecue, and the most obvious choice is Dreamland Barbecue, which is very good. But in order to best serve the viewers of Todd's Taste of the Town, I wanted to find something a little off the beaten path. And right across the river in Northport is a great place called Archibald's Barbecue.
What a place. What a place.
You got to love it when they're spraying it down with a garden hose.
That was one of those live garden hoses, too.
They all are. Alabama goes right back on the attack with Terry Grant. Let's find out more about Archibald's.
This is Archibald's Barbecue, opened in 1962. Now, the owner, George Archibald, told me that Bear Bryant used to be a regular customer here. Now, George wouldn't tell me what the recipe for his sauce was, but he did tell me it gets its extra tangy flavor from it being more of a vinegar base. Well, I'm ready to try mine right now.
All right. You know, I applied for a summer job there as the wine steward and didn't get it.
I'll tell you that. You know, I mean, the thing about going to a place like that is, I mean, you've got to be prepared, because there is no dainty way to eat ribs. You know, I mean, you got to get down in amongst it. And the only thing I wish
you're very good at.
I'm good at getting down in amongst it. The only thing I wish I would have brought my own towel, because because it's messy. You know, you can just throw it over your shoulder and keep, stay about your business. But it was a great place. George Archibald was a real pleasant guy to get to know.
Only 6 stools in that place.
Yeah. Very small place. And then the hose kind of freaked me out. I wasn't sure what they were using the hose for, but George explained to me that, you got to keep that fire from getting too hot, because the best way to cook ribs is slow, and you cook it with steam and love, not fire and flame. So you got to just keep that
steam
fire.
And love.
Steam and love. That's the best way to cook those ribs.
All right.
Boy, they were good too.
John Parker Wilson has the offense out to the 40-yard line. Gives it off to Grant again. Well, let's see what we've had on Todd's Taste of the Town for the first 3 weeks. We had Max Drive-In in Clemson, the cheeseburger steak. That was covered with gravy.
Right.
The sticky buns, I want to tell you, 22,000 calories apiece, and I loved it. That was from the diner at Penn State. And the ribs. So we either have grease, gravy, or sauce. A whole lot of gooey stuff. John Parker Wilson. That's a late hit.
Yeah, dumb hit. Marcus Harrison got to know better than that. He's a senior. He's been a 3-year starter. He missed the first game for suspension. And I think this is his first series in the ball game tonight, and not a very smart decision.
I mean, it wasn't a dirty hit. It was just a silly decision.
Yeah.
He tackled him out of bounds.
Well, and especially not on the Alabama sideline in Tuscaloosa. I mean, you just don't do that. I mean, I appreciate a kid hustling and wanting to make a play. I guess he did leave his feet, but he just didn't need to even wrap him up.
You got to know where it is.
Yeah.
So Harrison gives them another free 15.
It's costly, too.
And with 3:51 to go in the first half, they're approaching scoring territory. Would have been 3rd and 8 if he doesn't make that mistake. Grant, ouch. Runs into a wall. Ryan Power stood him straight up. Here's Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, Marcus Harrison hasn't made good decisions lately, I guess, with that great hit, or that hit out of bounds as well. He was pulled over and charged with a felony drug charge earlier in fall camp. That charge is still pending among other traffic violations, but guys, the coaches suspended him for the first game. And Houston Nutt said it best. He said, you know, you just can't have this from a senior starter. We expect better, and he's got to give him better right now.
When you got to expect leadership out of your seniors. If you don't have leadership from your seniors, you've got some problems.
John Parker Wilson throws the out incomplete off the fingertips of Keith Brown. The crowd wanted a flag. Materrell Richardson was out there on the coverage.
The Arkansas defenders, no more bump and run on the outside. They're giving a little cushion, a little space. Richardson makes a play on the ball. I think that's a good no call. It was a tough ball to catch for Keith Brown, and Richardson was in good position.
The thing that bothers me most about guys getting in trouble is that they're letting down their teammates.
Absolutely.
And that's got to drive you crazy.
That decision doesn't just affect yourself. It affects 100 other guys.
Wilson goes to the shotgun. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Throws. Intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Richardson. And Richardson back to the 45. He's hit out of bounds.
Well, I think we got a bunch of penalties. I think we have an illegal block on the return against Arkansas, and then a late hit on the sidelines against Alabama. The interception will almost assuredly stand. And I think this adjustment by the secondary of Arkansas to loosen up the cushion and not play bump and run has made them more comfortable and more confident against the Alabama passing game.
Let's see if these are both post-possession fouls, which would let the interception stand.
That's on the return, and that's on the return as well.
During the interception return, illegal block in the back, number 96, 10-yard penalty.
We go back to this interception. I want to show you, this is still man-to-man defense. It's not zone, but look, there's a cushion. And so Materrell Richardson doesn't run the risk of getting beat right off the ball, right off the line of scrimmage. Now, as soon as he sees the break, he breaks underneath the receiver, finds the football, and makes a big-time play. They've loosened up the cushion as defensive backs, and that's made them play a little bit more confidently here in the second quarter.
Well, a nice play by Richardson, his first interception.
Well, that was a big-time interception now, because after that late hit by Marcus Harrison, it looked like Alabama was in position to tack on to this 2-touchdown lead, and now Arkansas with the ball back in excellent field position.
See if they can make him pay. Fake to McFadden. Casey Dick on the roll. Throws on the run and incomplete.
Got to hit that one, though.
Sure did. DJ Williams, his tight end was open.
Now that's one you've got to hit. You've got first down pass. You've got your tight end open. You're rolling to the right, throwing to the right. That's one that Casey Dick has got to complete. Because now 2nd and 10 is not a good down for Arkansas's offense. It just isn't. It doesn't fit their style particularly well.
They've led the SEC in rushing for the last 5 years. In Houston Nutt's first 9 years, over that span, they have led the SEC in rushing. That's what they do. And they lead the country coming into this game. They got 350 yards against Troy. McFadden, this is why they lead the country in rushing. McFadden to the sideline. And what a great block he got out there from Reggie Fish, the diminutive wide receiver who had somebody tied up and was just not going to let him back into play.
Well, watch this. This is Simeon Castile. He's going to come on a zone blitz, and McFadden is going to run right by him. I mean, this is a good football player. Castile can't adjust. Hillis picks up the block on the blitz, and McFadden right into the secondary just like that.
And Lucas Miller, the split end number 88, threw a beautiful block downfield as well.
Lucas Miller and Peyton Hillis. I'll tell you, Hillis is a valuable player in this offense. Where he goes, the ball usually follows.
McFadden direct snap.
Double pass.
Back to McFadden. They wanted to go deep, instead come back underneath to McFadden, and the ball was thrown by Robert Johnson, who started the season last year as a quarterback and then very unselfishly moved to wide receiver.
Yeah, it went for the trick play, and pretty good decision by Robert Johnson not to make a bad throw. They've got some momentum. You know, that's a good quarterback decision.
Yep.
Take what the defense gives you and come up and play 2nd down and 6. That's much better than some of the alternatives that could have happened there.
Felix Jones, the deep man in the eye this time, and he'll get the carry. Jones, a tough little runner inside the 25, near the 24-yard line. They need to reach the 22 to get the first down.
I mentioned Peyton Hillis. You know, everybody talks about Jones and McFadden, but watch number 22. Watch him lead this play and block. I mean, this is his job. I mean, he leads, and he leads on the blocks. And he's a big physical fullback. Does a great job of sizing that guy up. And he's also probably the best receiver on this Arkansas team right now without Marcus Monk.
And has been rated the best blocking fullback in the entire Southeastern Conference. McFadden.
There he was again. Right behind
the play that they broke for 23.
This is one of Arkansas' staple plays. I mean, it's kind of a power play. They pull the backside guard and they lead with the fullback. Mitch Petrus, number 66, the left guard, was actually a fullback H-back last year. So he has excellent feet. He's a really good puller, and the combination of he and Hillis really opened things up for McFadden.
New set of downs. Jones trying to get to the outside. There's a flag down. That might be a face mask. Hall made the tackle along with Mitchell.
And that's going to be a 15-yard penalty too, I think, because they used it to make the tackle.
Looked like both guys may have gotten a piece of this one. And it is the personal foul variety.
Yeah. This could have been offsetting penalties, I guess. You don't see this very often, but take a look at this. They're both going to have each other's face mask. Right there. They both have a hold of the headgear.
Now, you can stiff arm a guy,
right.
but you can't grab his face mask.
That's right. And maybe that's what the official thought he saw was just a stiff arm.
And McFadden is maybe the best in all of college football with that stiff arm. He can lay people out with it. But it goes Arkansas's way. They're just outside the 10. Clock is running under a minute to go. Jones to the 4. Let's go to Reese Davis.
Right now it's going very well for Arkansas, though. This is a huge turnaround in this football game. They avoided the late score by Alabama. They've gotten a couple plays here, and if they can knock another one in here, this will make this game very interesting in the second half.
McFadden, the deep man in the eye. He'll get the carry.
He wants to throw it.
He does to the end zone, and that should be offensive interference. Crawford with a big-time push-off from behind to avoid the interception, and they didn't call it. Boy, did he get away with one.
Yeah, and this is just a sound defense that is not going to be fooled because McFadden doesn't turn his shoulders upfield, so you know this is not a run. He was just running to the sideline with his shoulders towards the sideline. And that enabled the defense to read it quickly and stay in position and not give up the touchdown.
Casey Dick wants to throw, partially blocked, and it was Gilberry who got the hand up. They were trying to throw it into the flat, but the big defensive end was right there.
Second time Gilberry's got a tip. He got the tip on the interception earlier in the game. I thought Casey Dick was late on this throw. I thought they had it quickly. If he comes up throwing right now, Gilberry doesn't have time to get his hands up. A little bit late on the throw, and Gilberry did the right thing, getting his hands up to get the deflection.
And on the short set, that's what the blocker's trying to do, is cut the defensive end to keep him down and keep his hands down. Instead, they have to go to Tejada for the field goal attempt, and Tejada knocks through his 22-yard try. So Alabama yields only a field goal, but Arkansas crawling back into this game, and they're only down 21-10. It meant I'm working 18-hour days.
I've only been to one, but I liked it. I'd like to go to some more. That was pretty exciting.
I did them in the days of Richard Petty and Cale and Leroy Yarborough, when it was much more dangerous, when the technology had not come as far as it had now. Vavra to kick to Arenas with 23 seconds to go. Arenas, a very dangerous return man. Jonathan Lowe is back with him. And Lowe from the 5. Got a block. I don't know. If he stays outside, he still might be running. Finally tackled by Walner Leandre. And we're down to 16 seconds.
Jonathan Lowe's dad was Eddie Lowe, who I played against. He was a linebacker here at Alabama. His uncle Woodrow Lowe was an All-American linebacker here. But Eddie played about the same time I was at Penn State.
Woodrow Lowe played quite a while in the NFL,
sure
didn't he? Will Alabama choose to do anything with it? Last few seconds? No, they'll try it on the ground. That'll do it for the first half. Alabama jumped on top 21-0 and then saw Arkansas scored the last 10 points. Here's Holly Rowe.
Coach, how was your passing game so effective attacking them in the first half?
Well, they played a lot of man-to-man coverage, and it was our plan to do a lot of crossing routes and be in tight bunch alignments, and players did a good job of throwing and catching it. We made some big plays.
What adjustments do you think they're going to make that you'll have to think about?
Well, they played a lot more zone as the game went on, so they wouldn't give up big plays, and we're going to have to take advantage of our opportunities. We stopped ourselves twice with holding penalties on 2 drives, which was critical, and we got to do a better job on defense. The last 2 times they've had the ball, they moved it very well on us.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. The halftime score, Alabama 21, Arkansas 10. Let's join Reese Davis for the Pontiac Performance halftime report. Is in motion. And Casey Dick rolls that way and throws to his fullback. And Hillis, trying to get that extra yardage, shook off a body block and was able to stay on his feet. Somebody forgot to wrap him up.
See, Peyton Hillis is 243 pounds. I mean, he's a big physical guy from that fullback position. And if you take a look at Arkansas's offense, first 5 times they had the football, very little production. The interception that set up a touchdown. Last 2 drives, they kind of kicked it into gear a little bit.
Second down, 6 yards to go. McFadden picking his way. Gang tackled just shy, it appears, of a first down at the 26-yard line.
The only thing, I mean, obviously I wouldn't say don't stop giving the ball to McFadden, but coming into the game, everybody talked about McFadden and Jones, and Felix Jones has been pretty quiet in this football game so far. Only 5 carries for 11 yards, or for 6 yards in the first half. Didn't do very much. I mean, McFadden is carrying the load, but when they're most dangerous, it's when both 5 and 25 are threatening the defense.
Remember the last time it was 3rd and 1, they threw the bomb, but McFadden is in here this time instead of Jones, and they'll give it to their horse, and he's up to the 30. Second in the Heisman voting a year ago, and one of the early favorites as we start this season.
You know, the thing you got to love about Darren McFadden is Houston Nutt says, you know, he's the same way he was when he came in as a freshman. He still loves to practice. He still works hard. And he sat him down before the year and said, hey, just wanted to make sure he wasn't thinking he has to go out and try to win the Heisman. He said, look, all we got to do, you go out and try to gain 4 yards. Every time you get the ball, try to gain 4, and that 4 will turn into 40 or 80 before you know it.
Jones is the tailback to give McFadden a blow. Casey Dick after the play fake, and Crawford lost the ball. It appeared he caught it first. It looked like Crawford took 2 steps and then just dropped the ball.
Absolutely just dropped the football.
Holy cow.
And it was a first down play action pass. It was wide open over the middle. Exactly what Arkansas wanted. And London Crawford, who's an Alabama kid from Mobile, just didn't put the football away. That's all it is. He just absolutely dropped the ball trying to turn upfield to run.
And Ezekiel Knight pounced on it. Huge break for Alabama. Would have easily been a first down for Arkansas.
Now that guy's got to keep his head up because they still need him in this game. He's a starting wide receiver. Marcus Monk out with the knee injury. It's he and Reggie Fish. He's got to work his way through that and get back out on the field. And you see what a leader Darren McFadden, the first guy to go over and grab him around the neck, because they need him in this football game.
Now they're reviewing this play, but if that's not a catch, I don't know what is.
It's a beautiful
possession.
Throw. Yep. Yeah, that's a catch. He just tried to put it away and drop the ball. And the ruling on the field was a fumble, and it had to be enough evidence to overturn that. And I don't think it happens.
Not a soul around him.
Ever since Arkansas has started to throw the football on first down, their offense has started to click.
And they've had guys wide open.
You have to have. I mean, there is no way with a guy as good as Darren McFadden that you won't have guys open on play action pass, because it forces everybody to respect that run.
Houston Nutt getting lobbying a little bit. It'd be a miracle for him if that one was overturned. You would have to have conclusive video evidence that it was not.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
That was just simply a case where London Crawford was trying to put the ball in his right arm to turn upfield and just didn't secure the football. He turned his eyes away to look upfield and just never got the ball tucked away.
Fish dropped one earlier in the game on a slant pattern. Those are the two starters. And McFadden being worked on. That could be cramps. So now Alabama already in Arkansas territory. John Parker Wilson. Hall. What a great job adjusting on the pattern. Hall once again beat Jarrell Norton.
Yep. That's the guy that Holly said they were picking on. They picked on him again, and this is not even a good throw, quite honestly, by John Parker Wilson. It's underthrown, but he has no idea. Norton has no idea where the football is. And DJ Hall was able to stop, turn around, and go get it, and Norton never found the football when he turned to look for it.
Gain of 44 yards. Hall 172 yards on 6 catches. That's a career high.
Sometimes a guy doesn't even have to be open. You just throw it up and let him go make a play.
Yeah. Grant just inside the 5. Ryan Powers out of Athens, Alabama.
Nice play by Powers. Powers is one of 2 linebackers on this Arkansas team that missed most of last year with an injury. He injured his hamstring covering a kickoff against Vanderbilt in the 3rd game of the year, so this is his first time to be on the field. Even though he's a starter, he only played 7 snaps last week in the first game against Troy because of their spread offense, but he did make 5 tackles in those 7 plays.
2nd and goal. Hall on a stack on the right side. Blitz coming. And John Parker Wilson saw the coverage and threw it away. Malcolm Shepard really got penetration. Moved from end after winning a spot in the spring. They put him at tackle. Really not that big a tackle at 6'3", 272, but he gets a lot of penetration anyway.
Well, Reggie Herring said he almost looks like he's offsides because he's so quick and explosive off the ball. And that time it was that. I think he shocked John Parker Wilson because he was into the backfield so quickly. John Parker Wilson took his eyes off the coverage and ended up having to throw it away.
3rd and goal. Handoff, nothing doing. They'll lose 3.
What a
Shepard
stop
just swallowed up Grant.
I'll tell you what, this is an excellent defensive stop. After the big play, watch Shepard. He gets in there again. His quickness off the ball and right into the backfield to wrap up Johns. He goes right inside the right guard, Marlon Davis. Quickness off the ball.
It was Jimmy Johns instead of Grant. My mistake. And Tiffin is on for a 24-yard field goal try. That would make it a 2-touchdown lead again. And Tiffin, who had all sorts of troubles last year against this club, hits the field goal, but there's a flag down. Unless it's a personal foul or something that carries an automatic first down, it's not going to matter much.
Disregard the flag. There were 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Field goal try successful.
As it turns out, it's not going to matter at all. Nope. The drop, the fumble, and then Hall's big catch, and Alabama back up by 14.
Rite Aid and ESPN.
See, in 3rd and 9, these wide receivers for Arkansas don't scare Alabama's defense. They don't threaten them, so they squeeze on those short routes. Where the openings are on the first down crossing routes off play action. That's where they have chances. But when it gets to 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and it's definite pass, the Alabama defense is ready for it.
Good coverage by Lionel Mitchell. And now Davis will have to punt to Arenas. And the significance of that 3 and out is it puts their defense right back on the field. Arenas from the 25 to the outside looking for a block. Takes it up near the 40. Take a look at the ESPNU All-State Standings Review. And we've got USC now tied up with Nebraska, the #1 team in the country. LSU gaining votes in the polls. Oklahoma, which jumped to 3rd a week ago with no problem against Utah State. West Virginia, a big winner on Thursday night at Maryland. Florida just mangled Tennessee.
That's amazing, that 59 points. I mean, Tim Tebow, I think, accounted for 360 yards of offense.
How about the Citadel? 31 points against Wisconsin. They lost by 2 touchdowns. Hats off to the Citadel. Or the Citadel. I'll get the pronunciation right. Paul McGuire will shoot me for that. Freddie Fairchild makes the tackle. The 2 great backs sitting together, knowing they've got a lot of work to do. Down 2 touchdowns as we get closer and closer to the midway point of the 3rd quarter.
I don't think Felix Jones looks like a confident back right now. I mean, I don't know what might be going on, but he doesn't look the same as he did when the game started.
John Parker Wilson on a little half roll throws to McCoy. John Parker Wilson has made decisions bang, bang tonight. Done a good job.
Yes, he has. I mean, he's done a nice job of moving in the pocket. He's done a nice job of making good decisions with the ball, and he's been accurate. Knows the pressure's coming. Nice little touch pass out to McCoy and gets the first down.
Back in Arkansas territory. And back to the ground and straight up the middle. For about 8 yards goes Terry Grant. And now a flag is down at the end of the play as somebody got drilled.
Now somebody threw a punch at Justin Britt. Justin Britt got involved with somebody over there, and
let's see if the officials saw it. Somebody threw a flag. Britt, one of 3 brothers to start for Alabama.
Well, if it was a punch, it will be it should be an ejection as well.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, and ejection on number 90.
Number 90 is Ernest Mitchell from Noonan, Georgia.
Well, what happened was Ernest Mitchell was tied up with somebody else on the ground away from the play, and well after the play was over, somehow Britt didn't have his helmet. Right here's where the action's going on, up there. Okay, there's a couple guys involved in it, Britt and Ernest Mitchell, and there goes the helmet of Britt, and then at the end of all this, Mitchell's going to come up and throw the helmet at Britt, and that's where the ejection and the penalty came from.
That is such a dangerous play. Now, if we understand the rule correctly, he's out for this half and out for the first half of the next game because a punch was thrown. And that's the minimum penalty. You can't be allowed to get away with stuff like that. Not only did he endanger another player, he just gave up 15 yards and put his team in a huge hole. They had 3 more straight up the middle to Grant.
You know, it's not like Justin Britt was a choir boy on that play. I mean, he was involved in the extracurricular as well, but Mitchell just took it too far, and now he removes, you know, that he's kind of their anchor on the inside, a 300-pounder, a big defensive tackle.
Grant fighting for extra yardage down to the 20. Excuse me, that's Coffee in as the tailback.
I just think this Arkansas defense, after being shell-shocked early and giving up some of the big plays, has played much better. They've got their feet up under them. They're flying to the football. They're wrapping up. They've been more sound on their pass defense, although they gave up the big play to DJ Hall the last possession, but that was just a poorly played ball by Jarrell Norton.
Jimmy Johns is in on 3rd and 6. He'll go out as a flanker instead of setting up as the tailback. John Parker Wilson in the gun. 5 wide receivers. And Arkansas will come with a blitz trying to counter that. Wilson throws for the end zone intended for Hall. He drew double coverage. Grant is back there along with Jamar Love, and it's incomplete. Here comes the field goal unit again.
And that's what Michael Grant has to do for this defense. I mean, he's got great speed and range. He suffered a very serious knee injury last November in the South Carolina game, has come back 100%. But his job as the free safety is to stop the big plays, to go help the corners. He did a beautiful job that time of getting over for help.
And they moved him from corner because they desperately needed somebody back at that safety spot. This would be a 37-yard try from Tiffin, who's already hit from 24, and Tiffin cannot convert. Tiffin has only hit 5 out of 10 field goal tries this year. He has struggled early. We'll get Todd's take on this third week in college. Tuscaloosa. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our coverage. 100-yard game number 14 for McFadden. And he is a workhorse down to the 41-yard line.
You know, that 14 100-yard games is even more impressive when you think he's only played 27 games in his career. I mean, more than half of the games that he's played for the Razorbacks, he's gone over 100.
You know, Todd, there are certain programs that you, even as an outsider and not being a fan, you hope are going to win. It's good for college football. Nebraska and Alabama are 2 of them. If those people are succeeding, it makes it better for the game, I think.
Look out.
Jones. Boy, is he quick. Down to the 5.
That is the first glimmer of Felix Jones that we've seen the whole game. I mean, I saw him shaking his head on the bench a couple times. He was a little frustrated. He didn't hit it up in there on a kickoff return, but this time, he gets to the outside, turns the corner, and turns it on.
Mitch Petrus on the pull. Again, he's had a very good game.
He's very active, has excellent feet as that pulling guard.
36 yards on the run. 1st and goal. McFadden down about 2.5 yards away.
Darren McFadden to the 3. Rashad Johnson on the tackle for Alabama.
Everybody talked about McFadden, and McFadden led the SEC last year with over 1,600 yards, but quietly in the shadows, Felix Jones ran for over 1,000 himself, 1,168. Has had a little quieter evening tonight, but they are a dangerous combination.
Second and goal, again out of the eye, tight formation. And Casey Dick throws to a wide-open tight end, Andrew Davey. The defense sold out, and they can have that play just about any time they want.
It's a nice call on second down. That won't work on third down, but it'll work on second down. And Casey Dick does a nice job of just retreating enough to give himself room to throw.
When that's one of those plays, that's not an easy pass to throw when a guy is wide open.
Throw it right at him. Yeah. That happens. And that's what you do. Because if you try to lead him too much, you have a tendency to overthrow.
(31-17), but Arkansas has it a foot away. McFadden is the setback. McFadden touchdown. Arkansas will not go away, much to Houston Nutt's delight.
And you got to love their character, because they have hurt themselves on special teams with turnovers, with drop balls. And yet they've hung in there and they keep battling. And I think it's Darren McFadden and I think it's Casey Dick making plays when they need him from the quarterback position as well.
7 plays, 42 yards, 2 minutes and 6 seconds, and they are right back in this ball game. It is a 7-point lead. Driving, facing a 3rd and 8 at the Alabama 24. McFadden back in the ball game. McFadden, first down, Arkansas. Boy, is he good.
He sure is. And, you know, the last play when Alabama had to call timeout, Arkansas was in a little trick 'em play, but they came out on this one and went back to their basic stuff. Counter, but they ran it to the left. They've been running right the whole time. This time they pull the right guard, Robert Felton, and they still lead with Hillis, but they run it to the left, and McFadden picks up the first down.
New set of downs for Arkansas. Back in the eye. McFadden again behind Hillis. McFadden inside the 5 to the 4, maybe the 3.5. He's just a bull.
He's hard to tackle. He's got a 245-pound fullback leading the way in Peyton Hillis, who's an excellent blocker. Mitch Petrus, number 66, is an excellent puller leading on that play. And this looks like the Alabama defense starting to get worn down a little bit, trying to deal with Darren McFadden.
Darren McFadden will be first in line for the Ice Buckets. 30 carries, 170 yards.
It's just not the same with Felix Jones running inside. I mean, he's an excellent back, and he's got the same kind of speed, but he does not have the brute strength and power that this guy has running in between the tackles.
That was a quick rest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're not going to leave him on the sideline very long. And now third, let's see where they have the ball, just inside the 5 or second.
It's a good time for a play action right here. You bring McFadden back in. It's second down. A little play fake, but he's in the quarterback position. He might throw it.
Got Jones as a flanker. He comes in motion. McFadden fakes it to him. Straight up the middle for a touchdown. 31 carries, 174 yards. Folks, you're looking at a man right there. An extra point away from a tie ball game.
If you're Alabama, I mean, look how much time is left. I mean, there's still almost a whole 4th quarter to play here. You didn't expect Arkansas to go away quietly. They're the defending SEC Western champions.
31-31. 31, and still 12:05 to go in the ball game. The All-American Heisman candidate with 31 carries tonight was blowing away Arkansas. They were leading 21-0 in the first quarter, and since then the Razorbacks have fought back at every turn and have tied this game at 31 apiece. 12:05 to go in the game, and Arkansas will kick off. Vavra to do the honors, and Arenas is deep to receive. High floater taken instead by Jonathan Lowe. And he is buried out at the 32. Cat Whitehill, her team is in a bit of a mess after Arkansas has come back to tie it up. Let's see if John Parker Wilson can get something going. They'll go on the ground with Grant. He picks up about 4. Cat.
You know, it wasn't as big of a surprise as a lot of people think back home. We saw some tapes on North Korea. Our coaches scouted them like crazy, and they're a very excellent team. They're very disciplined and very fit, and they came flying at us with so many numbers.
Well, you're a world-class athlete and a big football fan, so you tell us now, if you can, what you think Alabama needs to do to win in the last 11 minutes here.
You mean besides stopping McFadden? You know,
yeah, that would be a start, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would totally be a start. I feel sorry for their defense right now. I know how tired they feel. But I think Alabama just needs to get back and do what they were doing in the first half. You know, mixing it up, don't force the passes. Find DJ Hall. You know, get some running game in there. I think they can drive on this drive without a turnover, hopefully, and get down there and score.
Brown can't come up with that pass from John Parker Wilson. It's wide, and they're going to have to punt it away. Cat, we thank you so much. Good luck against Nigeria, your next game on Tuesday, and good luck the rest of the tournament in China.
Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll bring home the World Cup.
You're very welcome. I hope so, too. Nice to talk to you.
Nice talking to you.
Cat Whitehill with the women's U.S. national soccer team in China for the Women's 2007 World Cup. Fish at the sideline and goes out of bounds at the 36. 5-yard return after a 32-yard kick.
Well, Darren McFadden in the second half has been unstoppable, as Cat Whitehill said. Alabama's defense struggling to tackle the big fella. He is just getting stronger as the game goes on. Getting a few breathers here and there from Felix Jones, but for the most part, it's been the Darren McFadden show, and he is one of those kind of athletes that literally can put a team on his back and carry them with his will, with his strength, with his skill to be in a place they are right now, tied at 31.
Already has 31 carries in the game. Jones tripped over his own man. Boy, did he have room to run. Mitch Petrus, who has played such a great game pulling as a guard, was on the ground, and Jones just stumbled over him.
This is their base play, counter play, and Petrus actually got caught back in the backfield a little bit too far, and it forced Felix Jones to make a decision whether to cut in or bounce outside. It was Ezekiel Knight, number 47, that forced that action in the Arkansas backfield.
McFadden is back in on 2nd and 11. Draw play, McFadden. Look at that hole. And McFadden off to the races again, down to the 45.
Well, this was a perfect choice by the offensive staff, David Lee, because the safety came up to blitz from the other side, and McFadden ran out the backside. The safety came to the right of the defense. McFadden ran to the left of the defense, and there was a gaping hole there for the first down.
32 carries, 194 yards. Yikes. He ought to be tired. Jones back in. He'll get a shot up the middle. And the Alabama defense is getting tired. Here goes Jones. Out of bounds at the 12. Keith Saunders chasing him down the sidelines after he gained 33. And the Alabama defense is just low on fuel right now.
They're low on fuel, and Felix Jones has pretty fresh legs. He bounces it outside. That's good blocking at the point of attack. Gets into the secondary and then just uses his speed for the rest.
8 carries, 86 yards in the half for Jones. And Arkansas really starting to pile it up in the second half. And they have been true to what they do, Todd.
Yeah, as long as they're close enough, they can stay with exactly what their plan is.
McFadden, not this time, got maybe a yard. And that was Prince Hall, number 21, sticking a shoulder in there.
I think if you're Arkansas, you don't get complacent here, though. You stay aggressive because I think you want to go for a touchdown here. You don't want to have to settle for a field goal and be conservative too much here. You still want the ball in McFadden's hands. But I think you want to be aggressive with your play calling and try to get 6 here against a tired Alabama defense.
Jones trying to stretch it out a little bit. Check it, it's not Jones, it's Michael Smith getting a carry. For the first time he's touched the ball tonight. Smith down to about the 9, and we have a player down for Alabama, and they will tend to him. And it looks like the inside linebacker, Keith Saunders. We've got a timeout, 8:25 to go in the game. We are now tied at 31. Keith Saunders was able to leave the field under his own power. Arkansas and Alabama tied at 31, 8:25 to go. But Arkansas driving again. They have reached the tied 7-yard line. It's 3rd down, 4 yards to go. And because of the injury timeout, McFadden had a chance to get a breather. He's still not back in. Jones is in as the tailback, and Casey Dick on the roll throws. Touchdown! Peyton Hillis, the fullback. And Jones got a block on Gilberry, who was coming after Casey Dick.
Well, you got to think pass with McFadden on the sideline, a little more so than if he was in the game, but a beautiful touch pass by Casey Dick to Hillis right in the corner of the end zone. And again, Hillis, so versatile as a runner, a blocker, a catcher, the best hands on the team. I think they may review this and whether he got in.
From that angle, it looked like the ball went right over the pylon.
Well, regardless of whether he got in or not, it's a first down. But I think that's a touchdown as well.
I think it is, too. Would be a first down nonetheless.
Yep. Yeah, that's a touchdown.
Yep.
Well, that was a beautiful touch pass by Casey Dick. And again, I think he is developed in this game, and he looks so much different than when the game started. He's confident, knows where he wants to go with the football. He's made some good checks in the running game.
Boy, did 92,000 people get very quiet all of a sudden. And Arkansas has made a remarkable comeback in this game. Absolutely remarkable. 4 touchdowns, the last 4 drives.
After review, the holding on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
In under 10 minutes, 4 touchdowns in the last 4 drives. But you can see the Alabama fans just stunned.
Yep.
Hillis is such a good player and overshadowed by the other stars in the backfield, but he is critical to this team's success.
Does a lot of important things for him.
Alex Tejada for the point after. And now, can Alabama regroup down 38-31? The Arkansas Razorbacks are taking on the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our coverage. Alabama now trying to rebound. They start from the 29-yard line. Grant will get the carry on first down, picks up about 3. Of course, Bear Bryant for so long was the all-time major college win leader until his retirement, had 323. Joe Paterno was the first to catch him, and then Bobby Bowden passed Joe Pa, and now they're only 1 victory apart. on the all-time list, and neither one of them showing signs of slowing down. John Parker Wilson guns the throw in there, complete. Very close to a first down. Nice tackle by Michael Grant.
No time to panic for Alabama. Even though you feel like the game has kind of gone the other way, there's still a lot of time. Your quarterback has still played pretty well. I mean, a lot of things that you've done well today offensively. It's just a matter of getting back into it now and being aggressive offensively. And, you know, really what has gotten Arkansas back in this game and in the lead now is number 1, Darren McFadden, number 2, Casey Dick, and number 3, Reggie Herring, the defensive coordinator, changing this pass coverage to more zone and loose coverage.
John Parker Wilson now running for his life, throws, and it's tipped incomplete.
See, that's out of character for Arkansas to play this way. But he realized at some point in this game, you know what? We can't live and die by man-to-man anymore. They're beating us too bad, so we have to change. And right there, that was a perfect example. Zone defense, good coverage. Quarterback had to throw it away.
Well, that's what you look for in coaches. I mean, if something isn't working, you better have another plan.
Yep.
Second half has been all Arkansas. 2:37 to 95. Out and just off the fingertips of Matt Caddell.
That's not a very good throw. That's a pass that John Parker Wilson should make.
Here's DJ Hall on the sideline. And that's a career night for anybody. 6 passes, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
There's got to be something wrong with them. I can't understand any other reason why he wouldn't be in the game right now.
Well, he's got his helmet on. Looks extremely frustrated to be on the sideline. But he's the guy who has destroyed Arkansas' secondary. John Parker Wilson throws this complete to the 46-yard line. Will Oakley out of Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, made the catch. 15 yards and a clutch throw by Wilson.
Well, they put him in motion to identify the defense. Once he saw it was man-to-man, John Parker Wilson knew he had a good matchup there and a good route coming off of the motion, and he delivered a perfect throw.
I like what Oakley did with it. No history on it. Got up, tossed it to the official. To the shotgun. 4-man rush, time to throw. And it should be down to the 39-yard line to Matt Caddell. Holly?
Well, guys, Alabama does not release injury information on players, but I can tell you DJ Hall's been standing on the sideline this entire series. He's been jumping up and down. At one point, tried to run out on the field like he was going to go, but an assistant coach stepped in front of him, would not let him go out. So at this point, it looks like they're not going to use DJ on this drive.
Well, you can tell it's driving him nuts, Holly. He wants to be on the field. And even though we're outside of the 2-minute situation, I just remember what Brett Favre told us one day. What's the key in the 2-minute drill? He said, just move the chains. You don't have to make spectacular plays. Just move the chains. And I think it's applicable right now. That's all they have to do.
Just keep working. Just keep moving. John Parker Wilson doesn't have to get it all in one play. Third down and a very manageable yardage right now. 1 or 2.
Coffee comes in, the bigger back, has the first down and more down to the 30. Coffee at 6'2", 197 as opposed to Grant, who's 185. Materrell Richardson had to make the tackle.
You're right, a little bigger back, a little more physical running in there between the tackles. Knocking guys off and getting the first down. Empty backfield again. A little bit of a change for Alabama. Shotgun, empty backfield on first down.
4-man rush again for Arkansas. That should be a flag. McCoy was grabbed by the middle linebacker, Weston Dacus. He did it right in the middle of the field. It's hard to imagine that nobody saw it.
It was a crossing route against a zone coverage, and Dacus just kind of instinctively is going to reach out and grab him. Here's Dacus right in the middle. Watch. He sees the crossing route and comes right through the receiver.
Holy cow.
And the umpire is right there staring right at it. Doesn't call it.
Oh, that's just horrible that they can miss that one. That's an automatic first down. Instead, it's 2nd and 10, and they're showing blitz. Here they come. Pick it up, McCoy. Needed one block, didn't get it, and what a tackle. What a play by Jarrell Norton, the young man who has been burned several times tonight, but that was a saving tackle on McCoy.
Well, watch the block by Glenn Coffey picking up the blitz, number 38. He does a nice job giving John Parker Wilson time to hit McCoy. And then Norton, as you said, the shoestring tackle prevents the first down.
Johns and Oakley are in on 3rd and 5 as additional wide receivers. This will be the 11th play of the drive. John Parker Wilson had a man wide open and got so careful he threw it low and incomplete to Matt Caddell.
Well, careful.
Oh, he was open.
And also, he knows the blitz is coming. This is one where you know you're going to get hit, set your feet and throw it. He kind of short-armed it. He knew the blitz was coming, and he short. You could see him drop his elbow and just short-arm that one and not get to completion.
Matt Hewitt, the safety, is still down.
That looks like cramps there, too. We've seen McFadden battle it.
It will be 4th and 6. With 4:25, and Hewitt looks like he had cramps, is up and coming off. No sign of a field goal try. And I think this is the right move, don't you?
Yeah, I do. A field goal, you're still a touchdown. You still have to score a touchdown.
Exactly.
So.
Whoops. Here comes the field goal team, and I don't understand. Lee Tiffin, who had all sorts of trouble last year against Arkansas, will come in to try from 42. He lived a nightmare against this team a year ago. Got this one from 42. That makes it 38-34. The question is, are you going to get the ball from Arkansas, and are you going to get this close again in the last 4:20? Houston Nutt talking with his quarterback Casey Dick on 2nd and 12. Be surprised if they threw the ball. When Utah took a chance to throw an incompletion or get a tip and an interception.
You don't want anything at all to stop that clock. Don't throw the ball and tell your backs to stay in bounds.
Once again, they'll give it to Michael Smith, and Smith swallowed up by a charging front wall of Alabama's defense.
Alabama used their last timeout, I think.
That will stop the clock at 2:31. Here's the rest of the schedule for Arkansas. They've got Kentucky, which under Rich Brooks has become a much tougher opponent than North Texas and Chattanooga. They should get a couple of injured players back for the Auburn game. Then at Ole Miss, and look at the end. They got South Carolina, at Tennessee, Mississippi State, and then at number 2 LSU. That's a tough way to finish.
You know, last year they opened with the thumping at home at the hands of USC. They gave up 50. Darren McFadden was not 100%. Then they reeled off 10 wins in a row. And they lost their last 3 ball games, but Peyton Hillis was injured for their last 4 ball games, and they really missed him in all his versatility that he brings to the offense. They still scored a lot of points on LSU and Florida, but they lost the ball games.
That was Alabama's last timeout. And Casey Dick looks to throw. Throws, and it's incomplete. Batted down. Ezekiel Knight, the linebacker, with a really good drop, got out there and got a hand on it. That play takes 5 seconds. The clock stops at 2:26.
I just don't know why you throw this, especially if it's not wide open. I mean, just run it if you're Casey Dick.
I mean, that wasn't far from a pick, was it?
Absolutely. And Ezekiel Knight used to be a wide receiver until he moved to defensive end or outside linebacker.
Well, now we know why they moved him. Although that would have been a really tough catch. Alabama's put pressure on in this situation before. They don't get much pressure this time, though. Arenas, the 18. Got a block.
Great tackle.
Yes, it was. Taken down at the 26. And it was Kevin Woods who hit him high and wrapped him up after a return of 9. Good play on special teams. So 2:13 to go. A field goal no longer does Alabama any good. They have to go 73 yards and get a touchdown.
And DJ Hall is back on the field now for Alabama. He missed that last possession. We saw him Nancy on the sideline wanting back in. He is in on what could be Alabama's final possession or final opportunity of the ball game.
I think he talked his way onto the field.
He's in the slot.
Wilson throws underneath. It wasn't for Hall, but it was perfectly to Matt Cadell, and Cadell was up to the 47. Remember, they changed the timing rules. We're back to the way it used to be. The clock will stop as they move the chains for a timeout.
DJ Hall.
A quick 19.
Yep. Hall was the decoy on that one. He ran the defenders off, and Cadell came underneath.
Blitz coming. John Parker Wilson unloads. It's complete to the Arkansas 44. Cadell made the catch again. Dragged down from behind.
He's got to be careful with this throw, though. He threw this off his back foot instead of stepping into it, and that ball floated on him. He can't afford to let that ball float across the middle. He got away with it that time. May not be so fortunate the next time.
The time he did that before, it was intercepted. Movement up front, and the flag will kill the play with 1:34 on the clock. Multiple movement up front. John Parker Wilson tonight. Give you this in a second.
Snap. False start. 78 on the offense. Penalty 5 yards. Down remains second.
The young man who set 7 passing records last year is 19 out of 38 tonight for a career-high 300. He's going to need some more if they're going to win.
Arkansas with 3 deep safeties.
Wilson underneath to Cadell again. Cadell at the 40. First down.
It's a good job by
Yes, it is.
Wilson reading the defense. He sees 3 deep safeties. That means you got to have something underneath. Don't try to force the ball down the field. Take chunks and go the best you can. Now, the only thing, Alabama has no timeout, so he has to remember that. Can't take a sack in a situation like this.
Low snap. He controls it. Wilson on a run, got it to McCoy. McCoy made the catch and got out of bounds at the 35.
What you tell your offense now, with 1:12 left, you need a touchdown to win. You have no timeout. So you got to say, okay, let's not take a sack. Receivers and backs, if you catch it, get what you can, get out of bounds. We know the clock will stop on a first down. If that happens, we got to get up to the line, get set so we can snap the ball with a play call as soon as they blow the ball ready for play.
Of his 21 completions tonight, 20 have gone to wide receivers.
Safety blitz coming.
Wilson's got to get rid of it, and does, and there's a flag. That's going to be interference, and an automatic first down intended for Brown, and Kevin Woods, who made that fine tackle on special teams, will be guilty of interference.
Yeah, good call. They got away with one earlier with Weston Dacus. This time not.
Number 3 on the defense. Penalty is the spot where the foul occurred. First down.
Kevin Woods is matched up with Keith Brown, and he's just going to kind of maul him on his way to the football, grabbing and hitting and slapping. Pretty easy call to make. And Arkansas back into the blitz mode on that play. Now they're backed off again. And John Parker's got to see this, recognize this looks like zone defense from Arkansas here.
That pass is high and incomplete. Richardson with the coverage as Brown was running a sideline pattern. So it's second down with 1:04 left. Still oodles of time.
The only thing that happens to him sometimes, and Major Applewhite talked about it, he doesn't settle his feet all the time. That time his feet were still moving. He was kind of drifting to the left as he made that throw. Your feet can get you in trouble.
Blitz coming again. He hangs in there. Completes it down to the 28-yard line to McCoy.
Well, they got to get moving here. No timeouts. Get your play called. Get lined up. Receivers get out there. No lollygagging around.
3rd and 9, clock running. Using a lot of time. Blitz coming. John Parker Wilson going for the end zone. And it's interference. And that's a good call. Brown was being held as he went into the end zone by Woods. Looked like he had his arm.
He's got his body into him.
Boy, that's not much. No, you know, on the replay.
It didn't look at him. I thought it was worse when it happened.
I did too. But remember, that's what the official is seeing.
Yeah.
He's seeing it live, not seeing the replay.
The only good news for Kevin Woods is it's not the NFL rule where the ball would be on the 1-yard line right now.
It's at the 14.
It is a first down for Alabama, but there's only 33 seconds left for Alabama. If they throw another one over the middle short of the goal line, they're going to have to really scramble here. Might think about spiking the football if you get stopped inside of a first down here to stop the clock.
Another blitz. They picked him up pretty well. There's Brown inside the 5 to the 3. That should be a first down. Where are they going to spot it? And an official's timeout.
Now, right now, John Parker Wilson has to know exactly what he wants to do here after they measure.
You see the yellow line, that would be a first down, so the clock would stop while they move the chains, but they've already got them moved.
See, and I don't like this for Alabama because the officials call timeout. Alabama should be in the huddle talking, knowing exactly what they're going to do because they're short. So as soon as they mark the ball ready for play, the clock's going to start.
Exactly.
I think Alabama's got to be thinking right now, spike the football to stop the clock. Spike the football so you can huddle up and call play, unless they already have a play called here at the line of scrimmage.
Now they're making sure they're up to the line. John Parker Wilson making the call at the line of scrimmage.
See, they could have done all of this while the referees were measuring. Instead of getting drinks of water, they could have done all of that a little bit before this. Houston wants them to start the clock.
John Parker Wilson for the end zone off the fingertips of McCoy. Threw him a bullet. Would have been a tough catch.
A little bit high. That's a tough one to handle when it's high. McCoy went up for it, but the good news for Alabama is the clock stops now on 3rd down.
Oh, that was catchable, though, wasn't it?
It was, but it was high and hot.
14 seconds left.
Now, if you get a first down, the clock will stop again while they reset the chains. So you can buy a little time here, even if you want to run the football to get a first down. Probably won't, though.
To the shotgun. Flag is down. John Parker Wilson, jump ball, caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama. Now check the penalty. Cadell caught the pass, but what is the flag? It's a touchdown. Holy cow. Wake up the echoes in Tuscaloosa. Cadell came up huge on that drive. 4 catches, 40 yards, including the touchdown. Man, oh, man.
Well, Cadell is going to be lined up in a slot. Here he is right here, number 11. Now, they got a little bunch formation to mix up the defense. He's working on Jamar Love, number 29. And as soon as Jamar looks around to find the ball sails right past his ear, and Cadell is there to wrap it up. A beautiful throw by John Parker Wilson, and Cadell goes up in the air over the head of Jamar Love for the touchdown. What a drive by the Crimson Tide.
And John Parker Wilson, if he hadn't done anything yet all night long, and he had played very well, established himself on that drive, he saved the ranch.
Career high for yardage, career high for touchdowns.
He hit 7 out of 10 for 55 yards on that drive and got his team to go 73 yards and only 205. And Alabama on the verge as John Parker Wilson gets career highs in 4 different categories, on the verge of going 3-0.
And he did that, and Alabama did that with no timeouts, which is even more impressive. No timeouts for your offense to drive down the field, and they went right down and scored.
McFadden on the sideline with 8 seconds left. Jones standing just outside the 10-yard line. If I'm Alabama, there is no way Felix Jones sees this kick.
Yeah, he took one back 90 in the opener.
Well, give him a chance. They kicked it up in the air, and now this one will go out of bounds. They can make him kick it again. Michael Smith was back there on that side. Jones was on the other side. They definitely kicked it away from him.
You know what, I gotta say this about Houston Nutt too, because I admire him for not putting Darren McFadden back in the game. If Darren McFadden had a cramp problem and his hamstring was a little iffy, if you know that the guy probably wants to go in and play, and he's your best player, and yet maybe you've been advised by the doctor you might be risking his hamstring, and Houston Nutt says, you know what, big fella, stay on the sideline.
Yeah, then you got to take your hat off to him, don't you?
Absolutely.
Now, Houston Nutt wants to talk about this. They take it at the 35-yard line. Would you have made him kick it again?
Well, the only thing is that then you're down to that be their last play, the kickoff return. And if Felix Jones doesn't run it back for a touchdown, you know, you don't have another play. So at least by stopping the clock, you get a play. And I would have kicked it away from him again, you know, so.
All right, field goal would tie it. You've only got 8 seconds left. There's not many good alternatives right now.
No, I mean, it's possible to get a play in and catch on the sidelines and maybe have a second left to kick a field goal, but highly unlikely. I would expect they're going to try to do something deep down the field, a la Hail Mary type or a hook and lateral type play, and try to get it in one play.
Alex Tejada getting warm just in case. Casey Dick in the shotgun. 8 seconds to go in the ball game. Dick throws over the middle. Crawford, hook and ladder. Hillis. Hillis goes down, calls a timeout. It's too late. They did everything they could, but Alabama, with fourth quarter, last second dramatics, has won it.